Hello, everybody on Facebook. I want to welcome you to Vibe Time with Geri. Got Cathy Steele on here tonight, lifestyle coach. Hello, everybody. Oh, I see you. Let's see who that was. Hello. Thank you. As it gets colder, you'll see me in more head wraps because when the wind or when the cold air hits the back of my head, it hurts. So I had to start wearing head wraps. That hurts. Nita Pita. Hello. I have them in multiple colors. I have little sniffles. Hello, Melissa. Hello, Kimberly. Hi, Jeannie. Uh-oh. I hope everybody's doing good tonight. Hi, Nancy. A long time no see. Hello, Ryan. I got a sneeze and I'm trying to hold it in and this sucks. How are you doing, Nancy? I haven't seen you in a long time. I noticed that your whole area was flooded. Do you need a boat or something? I'm sure you got one. It's not funny, but you know what I mean. Whew. Well, hello, Savannah. What's up, Hummer? Hi, Gene. Hummingbird. I better stop. Adjusted, you know, it's, yeah, I do need meds. I do, definitely. I need to be medicated. The teacher said that yesterday. No, I'm just playing, they didn't. I hope everybody's doing good. Oh, look, it's time to take me off of mute, and I haven't done it yet. Hello, everybody. I want to welcome everybody to Vibe Time with Geri and everybody on Facebook. Coming down with something. I got to kick it in the butt with some Zycam or something. My OPC3 and all my other good stuff that I have going. Couple of announcements. Before I get started tonight, or excuse me, Saturday. Can't even talk either. This Saturday, Cabin on 360. We're still having our event out there. It's from 7 until 12 midnight. Tickets are $30. Y'all, we still got tickets left. So if any of my friends are interested in a ticket or anything, just shoot me a message and let me know. You can go on to, I know, right? You can go on to the Cabin on 360's Facebook page and look at their link. I've posted links too, because I'm going to be doing readings from 3 to 6. That's $20 for those tickets. And then, of course, the investigation of the Cabin on 360 is going to be from 7 to 12 midnight. Yeah, I'll knock this out, trust me, before Saturday. So please, get your tickets. You won't, I'm telling you, you will not be sorry. You won't be. Trust me. For all you non-believers, you'll want to get out there. But anyway, tonight after my show, The Freaks and the Freaking Awesome Show is back on with me on Tuesday nights. Do you come back, my pretties? They're going to be on tonight with me, or excuse me, after me, and they are going to have Savannah Outlaw as their special guest, and she is from Underground Paranormal, and if I got that wrong, she'll spag me later, because I can't talk. So anyway, they'll be on at 9:30. I definitely need help. I want to introduce my special guest, because I'm introducing her as a lifestyle coach, but she is a lot more than just a lifestyle coach. She is an artist. She's a hairstylist. She's a mystic witch. She's a mother with recovery stuff. So she's got all kinds of, oh yeah, I'm manifesting. She's got all kinds of things that we're going to be talking about tonight. And I know she won't mind. I've been waiting for her to come on for a while, actually. So I would like to introduce y'all to Miss Cathy Steele Arthur. She is coming on right now. Let's see my sniffle.
Unmuted. Hey.
How are you?
How y'all doing? I'm doing good.
Can you hear me loud and clear?
It kind of covered everything.
Yeah, did I cover everything on your introduction?
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Awesome. I tried not to, trip over my words.
So, how do you describe somebody that has been through so much and lived so much and had to, I guess, reinvent themselves so many times in life,
Yep. Yeah, I mean, you're right. You're right about that. And I like the fact that I could openly, some people don't want to talk about when it comes to certain things, with recovery stuff and stuff like that. I mean, recovery falls under so many different things, but some people don't like to talk about that. And I got some people, that are struggling with that right now. Honestly, the struggle is real.
Right.
So.
Yeah. It's really sad right now in the county. I can't tell you how many friends. I have a 28-year-old daughter, and she said, Mom, it's like every year a couple of them drop off.
Yeah. So, yeah, you're right. And so that's a big struggle for a lot of people. Like I said, I have some people that are going through some things right now that I hope are going to tune in and be on the air and maybe get something, out of some of the things that we talk about. Because this particular person, they just had a rough time and had a relapse.
Yeah.
And they're trying to get back into the spirituality of stuff.
Yeah, one of my best friends is doing that too.
Yeah. So it's a difficult time for them.
Well, it's really hard when we have friends that go through it and loved ones, because we want them to get better with so much, all of our heart. But the sad thing is, until they really have had enough of being sick and tired, we can't make them do shit.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're absolutely right about that. So I agree with you on that. Like I said, the struggle is real with people. So I'm glad that you came on, and you allowed me to openly, say, like I said, recovery stuff, because some people don't let you, they don't want you to say that. So anybody that we can help, is that's why I like what I do. So, any messages that you can.
That's what my whole life is.
Yeah. So I already have one question for you, because I have Kimberly on board with me. And Kimberly is already wanting to know what a mystic witch is, because she's got questions.
Honestly, I don't know. I'm a eclectic witch, if you want to get down to it. Eclectic solitary. And I was just reading, somebody posted in a group on Facebook saying mystic, and I kind of fit that too. And I was like, well, that's cool. It's just somebody that strives.
Yeah.
And keeps learning and growing in their spirituality.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's kind of what the Southern Gypsies do. That's why they have their name, because they don't really fall into one category like everybody else. Like one person might fall into one category, one person might fall into another category, and they're gypsies. They just have a free heart and free spirit.
Yep.
You know, they just grow every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like that. Just
Yeah.
a little better every day.
Yep. Oh, my third eye sister is on here too. My third eye sister is so royal. I'm unique. She don't know how that is a witch. Don't get all analytical. She don't know. We heard the term. What did you call it? Eclectic witch. We heard that term.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had heard that.
It just means I
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Seriously.
I was going to say, it just means I take what I like and leave the rest, because there's so much when it comes to spirituality, and there's so much goodness in each one, but I don't necessarily want to label myself and put myself in that box.
I see.
You know?
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes makes a lot of sense, what you're saying.
Yeah.
Well, I wish you could cast that spell and make this little slight cold that wants to try to snap me go away.
Peppermint oil.
I've been using. Look, I stay stocked with peppermint oil. Okay. And people might say, "Oh, what she did is disgusting." Okay, it's my body. I don't go around flashing it in people's faces, but I have to stay stocked with peppermint because I have spirit people around me all day long, and peppermint is a saving grace for me. It keeps them all away from me. Like I have been through some things in the last couple of days. My lights have cut on. I don't want nobody at my house right now because I've got some things going on, and I just don't want anybody else over here. I've had my door slam. I've had a light cut on last night. I was woken up by some little girl calling my name. You know, I would hate for what I got going on over here to be following people to their house, even though I told them to stay where they were supposed to stay, and they didn't. I can't help it.
Yeah.
So that has been the struggle.
When you're open and receptive to that, you're like a light in the dark to them. You know?
Yeah.
And they just want to be around your light.
Yeah, and it wasn't even intentional. Like, I was innocently minding my own business in an undisclosed location, and I felt all this heaviness in the air, and I couldn't figure out where the heaviness was coming from because it wasn't there before. No, it ain't Old House Woods. And then what happened was, I got grabbed on my arm, and I'm like, oh man, are you freaking kidding me? You know, and then my friend is looking at me like, yeah, they just grabbed you on your arm. And then when I got in my car, I knew that they got in the car with me, so I started spraying my rose spray to get them the hell out of my car because I want them to stay where the hell they live at. I don't want them coming home with me. But it looks like they came home with me anyway. It looks like they came home anyway, and I'm like, really? So now I have to figure out a way to snuff them. And sage isn't working, people.
How about Palo Santo?
I've tried all that. I got third eye sister telling me to sprinkle some spiritual cleanse bath. No, that's the good shit. Are you kidding me? She wants me to literally waste my cleanse bath on four corners of the room. Now, Soberall, I'm unique, is like my third eye sister, and she makes me all these little cleanse things, and she sells them, and they smell like they're the type of, you know what I'm talking about, the type of like oils in the cleanse that you could just like dump under your pillow and huff all night long. Have you ever smelled something so good? Yeah. Okay, that's what her stuff smells like, and like I want to sit there and just huff it all day. And there is no way in hell I'm going to take sprinkles of that and put it in four corners of my room. No. You're making me wait. That's like telling somebody to take their weed and throw it outside. Did I just say that? I did. No, I can't do that. It smells so good. I can't help myself.
I was just told by some friends of mine that are mediums as well to get railroad spikes or some kind of iron like that, some old nails, or even old horseshoes. Those are iron. And you can put those in the four corners of your room instead.
You know what?
Save your good smelling stuff.
Yeah. My good smelling stuff. I know it'll work. I know it'll work, Third Eye Sister. I have no doubt. She's telling me it'll work. I have no doubts that it'll work. I don't doubt you. But the shit smells too good to be put in the corner of my room. No. I'll keep the spirit before I let that happen. Because it just smells so good. No, it's like wasting my shit. No. I'll go get me some horseshoes.
That's funny.
I could do that.
That's right.
You know, it's really funny that they're saying that because I was looking for like little horseshoes myself because they also mean good luck in different countries.
Yep.
Germany's one of them.
Yep.
You hear my snuffles come.
Girl, I've got some tattooed on my butt.
I have
I like tattoos too.
yeah, I do too. I have a ton of them, but they're really, really teeny. I got them from when I went to Germany. I brought them back over to the States. And I have like a couple of them left, but they are, when I say tiny, I mean tiny. Like teeny tiny, and I don't want to I don't want them to get messed up because they have a lot of sentimental value. I was getting my stuff out because Third Eye's sister insists that I take my beautiful stuff and just spray. Okay, let me show y'all. Okay, you see how much I have left here? That's not much. That just shows you I've used the heck out of this stuff. I ain't got much left. I can't waste it in the four corners of my room. No.
Oh. No, that ain't enough.
No, that's not enough. So I will go back online.
How about Florida water?
You know, I have that. You know, I didn't think about that. See, this is why I have you. This is why I have you.
Some of that around,
Yeah, I forgot I had... Shit, I just spilled it on my bed. I forgot I had... I know. Well, on my bed, I don't care. There. It's sprinkled on my bed now. Nobody can mess with me.
You can still smell it.
Yeah, I can... It smells so good. Like I'll save you some to smell just so you can smell how good it smells.
Nice.
Yeah, it really does. It's one of those... It's almost like an essential oil, a mixture that'll put you to sleep. It's one of those types. Like you smell it and then you just instantly...
Nice.
No, I'm not using any pinches, not even the smallest pinch of my stuff. My stash. No. So, I'm sorry.
That's funny. That's all right.
So, there are so many different little things that you... Go ahead.
I was going to say, we all need to laugh more. There's nothing wrong with us being happy while we're talking.
Yeah, I know. I just, I don't want to waste my stash. As you can see, obviously, I don't have that much left. I am trying to laugh this whatever cold or something. I want to say it's allergy / cold that is coming on.
Yeah.
Like I need to get my neti pot out. So,
Neti pot.
Yes, neti pot time.
I use Flonase.
You know what? I have that. I use that. I use my OPC. This just came on today. Hello, Melissa. How are you? This just came on today. I was innocently minding my own business, and it's like, I don't know what happened. I always mind my own business, and look what happens. It never fails. Gotta take glasses off for a minute. So how long have you been doing what you've been doing? Because I know that we had a discussion about this before, but this was you and I talking, and this was before I had other people.
Yeah.
Me too. Thank you. So, what got you interested? I mean, are you interested in paranormal stuff too?
Yeah, very much. became in the typical closed-minded, going to go to hell Christian. And thankfully, I learned to be open-minded, and I started looking at more of my ancestry, I guess their beliefs from back in the day. And that's kind of, I evolved into who I am today. You know, just being open-minded and wanting to know about the Welsh paganism and the Native American stuff, and, you know, living by the cycles of the seasons and whatnot. Oh, and happy Mabon, everybody.
Thanks.
But, yeah, but how did I evolve? So, learning how to be open-minded and not believe that I deserve to go to hell because of sins and stuff. I had to find something else. I had to find something that would love me unconditionally. And that's a huge part of recovery, is learning that that there is something bigger than you and that it loves you no matter what. And that's probably why you're not dead. You know?
Right. You're right.
So, yeah. So I started from there on my path, and believe it or not, I Googled, you know, about how to be a witch, and I checked into all different kinds of religions and things, and I just learned what felt right for me. And I say eclectic because, like I said, I can't put myself in a box today. So when you ask how do I label you, I'm like, oh God, I don't use labels anymore.
Right. Right, I gotcha.
But the biggest thing I think I've learned is not to be self-centered and to be there to help pretty much anybody that reaches out or looks like I can help them, that's open to it.
Right.
You know, that's huge too.
That's
true. I can't
true.
just shove what I got down somebody's throat and hope they get better.
Right, because we know that don't happen.
Nope.
Nope, you're right about that.
If it was as easy as osmosis, yeah.
That's true.
Go ahead.
But you also do hair too. You do, like I said, you do a multitude of things.
Yeah, I've been doing hair about 27 years. I accidentally got into doing that. I thought that I was taking makeup course in high school when it said cosmetology, and it turned out it was hair. And being an artist, being an artist, it's okay. I can do that too. So
that is awesome.
I'm getting ready, a little plug. I'm getting ready to switch to a new salon in Gloucester. It's called Fusion. I was working somewhere else. I don't want to mention it because I don't know how that works. But, it's finally a private salon where I'll be treated like the adult I am, you know?
That's an awesome start, though, for you.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really cool.
Thanks.
Yeah. So, have you ever, like...
Being in recovery, hairstylist.
Yeah, it'll be, hairstylist by day, witch by night.
You're awesome.
Yes. We'll just keep it that way. We'll just keep it that way.
Yeah.
So, have you ever been?
We'll beat recovery and make them look pretty.
Yeah, that works.
Okay.
But no, that plays a part in. I mean, those do play parts in recovery. I mean, taking care of yourself inside and out when you think about it. So, actually, I have one of my friends that I want to bring on that is like a substance abuse counselor / mental health, and we're going to be talking about how that plays a part in spirituality too. You know, I mean,
Okay.
I'm going to be going off of my show just a little bit. Not right now, but I'm talking about in the future. I'm going to go a little bit off of it because,
Oh,
you know, all that stuff goes hand in hand to me.
yeah,
Oh,
it
look,
does.
my ex-husband, Chris Earls, my ex-work husband is on. Hi.
Oh,
He probably hates me now. He hasn't seen me in so long.
yeah.
I haven't seen him in so long. I forgot what he looks like. But that is the plan here because I'm noticing that um you know, because my show goes on the lines of spirituality, but it also goes on the lines, of course, of paranormal too. I have a lot of paranormal investigators that come on, but I have a lot of people, you know, that have a whole different realm of things. They do energy work like I do, or like you know, with the mystic
Yeah,
witch, just different things. And
yeah.
you know, it's just a variety of different things. So that's why I wanted to kind of intermix the, like with my friend, that substance abuse treatment, kind of mix those two in together to see how that will go.
Well, and I've always been interested in the paranormal, but Hollywood kind of put a bad idea in my head about it. So actually, I've been really working on meditating and getting in touch and erasing a lot of that stereotype from watching those ghost hunting shows and stuff, you
Oh
know?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Because that's a lot of they do. There's so much drama there, and some of what they do isn't even real. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Some of it is like fake. Not all of it, but some of
yeah,
it is.
no.
You know.
Or they say, oh, I heard him say this, and they play it back, and it's like, well, I didn't hear that at all.
Right, right. That's why when I'm doing, like, when I post my EVPs, I try to make sure that they are perfectly clear where nobody is going to say, "Yeah, Desiree's like staged." I where nobody will
Yeah,
say, "Oh, you didn't really hear that." That's why I try to do everything clear cut with my EVPs to make sure that nobody can sit over here and question it. Like Haunted MD says, when in doubt, throw it out. You know, if you're in doubt about something, then you just
yeah,
toss it. You don't, you know, publish it, or I guess try to put thoughts in other people's heads. We don't do that.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Well,
So.
I've always been, I guess you'd say, sensitive to
Mhm.
spirits. Like I could feel them around. I could tell. I can't see them. I hear them sometimes, more so now than I used to. And I see flickers of them. Um, so that's something I'm just kind of working at letting it manifest by itself.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense that you would do that. Have you ever had any experiences?
Oh yeah. A couple weeks ago, I had something in my house that felt dark and foreboding. Um, I'm laying in the bed trying to crawl up under my husband to try to get away from that feeling, and then I realized what I was doing. So I was like, oh, no, no, no.
Yeah,
I was like, you need to leave. This is not okay.
exactly.
but
Exactly.
but I had one time I was doing a lady's hair, and it was like I seen a. I don't know if this makes sense. Probably to you it would. It was like a projection of a man stepping out in my head, and he was wearing all brown and stuff. And I was like, well, that just happened. How do you tell a customer that?
Yeah.
Do you know a man dressed in a brown suit?
Yeah, that's what you would say.
But that, like I said, since I've been working, when we talked, I was telling you about how I've been kind of working on that.
Yeah.
So that was kind of a big deal for me. But, whew,
I
yeah, I've lived
yeah.
in different places. There's an old farmhouse behind Rick's Country Store here in Gloucester, and there was a few people in there. There was I don't know if she was a nurse or a maid, but it used to be at one point that house was, let's see, it was a hospital in the Civil War. It was a hotel at one point.
Oh wow.
And I lived with the main, bathroom and the giant, like, drawers and shelves where they would store all the linens and stuff. And we'd see her from time to time. There's no doubt in my mind that they're there.
Oh yeah. That's I I was thinking of your salon because I remember one time going into a salon. I don't think I told you that. I went into a salon, and this was like when my stuff was like fairly new, you know? It wasn't it was just more enhanced, or I'm not going to say fairly new because I've had it since I was 6 years old, but it was when it was really heavy, I just spirit after spirit after spirit wouldn't leave me alone. And so I was innocently getting my hair colored. I was getting my hair did. And this lady walks in and sits down in a chair next to me, and her husband is attached to her. At the time, I didn't know it was her husband, but it was a man that was attached to her. And so I just kind of looked over at her, and I'm like, you know what? I ain't going to tell her nothing. I'm just going to mind my business, and I'm just going to leave. Well, I did. And the spirit followed me in the car. And he was like, no, you got to tell her. And I'm like, I'm not telling her shit. I'm sitting there talking, I'm like, I'm not telling her shit. I don't know her. She don't know me. She's going to think I'm a nutbag. So I'm not saying a damn thing. And then I kept sitting there, and it kept nagging me. And I was like, damn it. If I don't, I'm going to have to listen to muffled music. So I got out of the car, went back into the salon, and I was like, ma'am, I don't know you and you don't know me, but you have a man attached to you. And she was like, oh, I just lost my husband a few months ago. I hope he ain't looking at my new boyfriend that's in the house. He wasn't. The man just wasn't crossed over. But that is what she said to me. And I was like, they give you your privacy? Because people think they don't, but they do, and except sometimes when I'm in the shower, I might have somebody poke their head in real quick, and I'm like, get the hell out. Sometimes you get the disrespectful ones. I'm like, get out of my shower. I have had that happen a couple times. But I mean, she was like, yeah, my husband, he died. He died not too long ago, and I moved my boyfriend in. I hope he's not mad.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it was one of those type readings. Yeah, but I was just thinking of how you was telling me how, how they step out in your third eye, or at least for me they do, and I'm like, dang it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I do a lot of stuff, and I don't know what the words are, but it's almost like they project an image into my third eye, and that's how I see them.
Yeah.
Not with, like, my regular eyes,
Right. That's right. And sometimes with me, it's both. Because, like, when I'm at work, I'll see a person, like, standing out by the pump. And I'm like, ugh, really? I can see them standing there. And then if I answer the phone, they just hone in behind me. And I'm like, ugh. And I know it's them. Or like the other day with my friend, I was like, you have a male with you, and they showed that they were with her, but it didn't step out my third eye, but sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't. I don't know if that makes sense.
Okay.
It does.
We just know sometimes.
Yeah. And they're like, what do you see? And I'm like, well, I know it's an energy. I know that it's a male figure. They don't always show who they are either. I try to explain that to people.
Yeah.
but it doesn't always work out that way because you know, people don't understand that sometimes they don't show themselves. Just like the other yesterday, actually, my friend had a mail with her. She had had a death in her family, and I said, well, you got a mail with you, you know, did he have a sense of humor, was he funny? And she was like, no, he just pretty much kept to himself, you know. So I couldn't find, I know that he's with her, but there was another, I don't know if he was trying to show me another family member to validate who he was. I don't know, you know, and I don't, so I just stopped it at that point because she didn't know what I was talking about and she was upset anyway. And I was like, this will hit her later. It may not hit her right now. It's going to hit her later. And then she's going to be like, oh yeah, now I know what you're talking about, because, you know, the timing sometimes isn't right for a person either.
Well, that's true.
You know, and I knew that timing with her was not right. I said, I said, this whole death in your family is a fresh thing, and I really don't like to do readings that quickly, you know, but I still know it's a family member because they were around her today again. So I know that.
Yeah.
And but you know, the grief is heavy right now.
And I heard that sometimes it takes time for them to learn how to manifest, you know?
Yeah. That's right.
That was one thing I've been learning.
That's true, because they don't know. You know, and death is fresh to them too, if that makes sense, y'all.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
I was taking a deep breath into my little salt, my salt inhaler real quick, because I could feel my chest starting to clog up, and I was like, let me take a deep breath into that real quick and see what that does. So no, it's not a vape. It's not a vape. It is a salt. It's a sea salt inhaler, y'all. And you take a deep breath, and then you just blow the air out, but not back in here. And it just helps open up your lungs. So.
That sounds cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's one of my friends told me about it. I was like, oh, that's not going to work, but it does. It's almost like you're you're inhaling salt air. But I like it. Along with my peppermint, because I have
Salt does so much for you.
Yeah. I've got to get rid of this stuff before Saturday. So I have 3 days to kick it out?
Yeah. I think it's probably allergy related because of the weather change.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm going to do everything I can. I got my Zycam. I take that like clockwork anyway. That helps a lot. So have you been on any investigations at all? Any paranormal investigations ever?
No, I've always wanted to. That's why, like, when I see your post about Old House, I'm like, oh, let me tag along. I need to learn.
Aw.
You know, I don't want to just go out and bumble around and do some stuff and bring stuff home, sorry.
Yeah, no, you're fine. The show, everybody knows the show is not rated PG around this show. We talk about the pink pearl, rabbits, and different other little things on this show. So, it definitely is not rated R. Or rated PG on here. You might want to rate it rated R/X. This is not for children. Don't let them watch.
Anyway, I've always been kind of like that. Like, when I learn stuff, I like to kind of hear about it or learn about it from somebody and not just try to jump in and act like I've got all the answers.
Right. That would be me too.
And it's like we just see, and it's just like we talked about, you know, just because I might try to do some stuff like they do on TV. That's not necessarily the right way either.
That's true. Kimberly's giving me all kinds of ideas, except I don't have a humidifier, so I can't run that. I don't have that. What the hell is that? I see the name in my head, but I can't pronounce it, so you can forget it. And I do have local honey with bee pollen. I have some of that.
Yeah.
Because the guy right up the road, I have two farmers that sell fresh honey here. The Savvy Hummingbird.
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. So I'm really lucky with that. She
Mix a little bit of cinnamon with that.
You think that'll work? I do have all that. I got to do whatever it takes. Yeah. I forgot about that too. I did some lemon with some apple cider vinegar and some honey. So I'm just trying to knock this out. It's got to go. We don't have time for that. Kimberly said we never have all the answers. Yeah. Kimberly said we never have all the answers. She's absolutely right about that. That's why I go to her. That's why I go to her if there's something I have questions about. I'll just, well, not just her, but anybody. If I don't know it, I'm not going to tell you I know something I don't know. Shit. The bottom line is I don't know. And that goes on the lines of the recovery stuff too. When I worked in substance abuse treatment, we would always tell people you can only take people as far as you've been, and when you try to take them past the place you've been, you're bullshitting them, then they're going to know it.
Yeah. Well, and then you come off, and you sort of, instead of coming from a place of empathy, you sort of turn them off because suddenly you're preaching at them.
Right.
It's like you're coming from up high.
Right.
And nobody likes that.
Mm-mm. Yeah, Zoe, I'll try your stuff too. I've got peppermint tea. I have eucalyptus. I have all that too. And I have huge chunks of labradorite. Anything to get rid of this.
Peppermint tea.
Oh yeah, I do too. I'll have to have I'll have to make some of that. Should make one of the kids do it. But yeah, that's what we used to. That's what I would talk to the kids about in when I worked in substance abuse treatment, because I did that, and I worked with kids ages 13 to 18 years old, and it was a inpatient substance abuse treatment for 12 to 18 months.
Wow.
Yeah. So they were with us that long. And so, that's a
good time though.
Yeah.
They need a long time.
Yeah. Don't take offense to this, but I've never had too much belief in a 30-day treatment program. I hope nobody gets upset with me for saying that.
No.
Only because I worked in long term and I got to see the differences between 30 days of treatment and a year long to 18 months. I got to see those differences, and we had different phases with what we did, and we had a better rate of a person not relapsing. Does that make sense? It just, because we had them, we got to go through so many different things with them.
Agree with you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
When I try to help people in recovery, a lot of times, they want to just do the basic stuff and not get into the hard work, and they think, oh, it's been, a couple months or 3 months or whatever.
Right.
And they think, and all of a sudden they're like, oh, I deserve a beer. I can celebrate this.
Right.
And then they end up worse than they were before because they forget,
Yeah.
Addiction is a tricky disease.
It is. And I mean, it goes on the line of not just alcohol and drugs. It goes on the line of so many different things, also.
Yes, girl.
I mean, it does. It goes, it just goes on the line with so many different things. And I didn't like doing step 4 like that. That it took me a long time to work that step. A
Yeah.
long time, a very long
Oh,
time. Like the sponsor that helped me would look at my step 4 and she said, "You're bullshitting," and she would give it back to me. She would tear it and she'd like, "Do it over, do it over, do
yeah.
it over." I was like, "What?"
Oh, the level. That's that's what I try to tell the women that I work with is, you know, you are my hero because there is nothing more scary than facing your true self and seeing your flaws
Oh
and
yeah,
actively looking for those.
yeah, and I do constantly. People may
Yeah.
not believe that, but I do that constantly. I have to turn inward constantly, but I hated that step 4. I didn't like that inventory at all.
Yep.
I didn't like any of the character defect stuff. And her name was Xandra. I'll just put it out there. She was in Georgia, but her name was Xandra, and she was like, "You can't bullshit a bullshit or rip rip." I'm like, go back and do whatever.
Google makes you get it.
Yeah. But I'm grateful for that because I wouldn't be where I'm at today if I didn't have a chance to work through some of the things I got to work through while I lived there, because um I was very fortunate to be able to work in the substance abuse treatment field, but also have people learn from different people and do some of the things that I needed to do to address the dressed up trash can, if that makes sense. So
Of course it does.
I'm not walking around like a dressed up trash can now. And, people know what that means. You're all
Yeah.
pretty on the outside, but on the inside, you got a lot of crap going on, and that needs to be cleaned out. They got to kind of match. I'm not
Well,
perfect by no means.
unfortunately, we can run some people off where, not there to be your friend. We're there to save your life.
Right.
And that's something that my sponsor would tell me all the time, Do you want to be nice to them and be their friend, or do you want to help them save their life?
Right.
You can't do both sometimes.
No, you can't. Because to me, when you're being that friend, then you're sugarcoating shit. You'll
I hate that.
Yeah, you'll sugarcoat something. I had somebody try to sugarcoat something with me yesterday, and I'm like, just be blunt. I don't need you to try to soften the blow for me. Just come right out and tell me. And she did. I was like, thank you. I'd rather you do that than sugarcoat something like that. Just say, because she was like, I'm trying to word it to where it's not gonna upset. I said, you know what? If it upsets me, it upsets me. I just need you to spit it out your mouth.
Oh, yeah.
Know.
Well, what I've heard too in recovery is if it pisses you off, there's probably some truth to it, and you need to get to work.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. But character flaws. Yeah. And of course we used to tell, and I still use it today, as long as you get it off of you, because when I do Reiki on people, I notice that a lot of times people's throat chakras are blocked when I'm doing Reiki, any type of energy work. And I'm like, when a person doesn't speak up the way they should, or they hold too much stuff back because it projects off of that throat. It's like it's clogged, and as long as you get it off of you, whether it's to that person that you need to direct it to or on a piece of paper, just get it off of you. That's what we used to tell our kids, and I tell myself that. That's why there's a lot of things that I don't hold back on. If something upsets me, I'm going to tell you, because you can't fix something. And if it doesn't bother you, that's fine. As long as I tell you, I don't care. Does that make sense? Because I got to get it off of me.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't feel like carrying stuff.
No.
And
ultimately, by not telling on it and on your feelings, that's, no kind of communication skills. That's keeping the waters muddy. And, I think the best analogy I have is like, it's my favorite one. It's like, all right, we got an elephant in the living room. We need to talk about getting it out, not just throw a sheet over it, pretend like it's not there.
Right.
You gotta face the hard stuff too.
That's right. You're right about that. And that comes on the lines of, I guess, if you want to call it the shadow work too, because you're really turning inward to look at the ugliness that we don't like to look at.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that shadow work's like a step 4 for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I can't stand shadow work because it just makes me have to look at that egotistical side of me. And I do have some selfishness to an extent. I have to look at those things and I don't like it. We all like to focus on the good and we don't, but that's the only way to grow too, is to, to do that type of work. Yeah. You'll never grow if you don't.
My thing was I used to be like, I'm helping this person, I'm helping that person, I'm doing all this good stuff. Well, I was doing it because I'd get something in return, or I was feeling like crap, so I needed to do something for them to give me an ego boost.
Yeah.
But there was no, back in the day, there was no pure intentions behind it.
Right. I mean, that makes sense. But today, I'm sure it's way different.
Oh yeah, this was back in the day.
Yeah, back in the day. That's what I mean.
I still have to question my motives.
Yeah. I do that. I just always look at things as long as you're doing it for the greater the good. I guess that's how I've always looked at things.
I think because of working the steps and stuff, and for so long I focused on being as selfless as possible.
Yeah.
And I almost turn that around and beat myself up. So I have to be careful not to go to the other extreme too.
Right. That's right. I agree with you on that, because you can do that very easily.
Yeah.
And then we get caught up in taking care of everybody else, then you forget about your own stuff. You just lose yourself in it and doing everybody else's stuff. But that's true.
That's true too.
Yeah. And you can't do that. Because then we always said relapse don't happen overnight. It's a process. I just relapsed last night. No, you didn't. You had that stinking thinking attitude for months and months, so it wasn't last night.
That's right.
You can tell.
A lot of people. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A lot of people say that they're working the step backwards. The steps, if you do the 12 steps of recovery.
Uh-huh.
You're going backwards and working it backwards, and then all of a sudden your life is unmanageable and you're powerless, and you don't think you're powerless over alcohol, so you got some more.
Yeah. Yeah. I've just never been able to work them steps backwards. I've never been able to do that. I've always had to, just do them,
Yeah.
Yeah. And I have so many recovery books downstairs. Go ahead.
I was sponsoring a little girl that was only 22, and I watched her do that, and it was really heart-wrenching because she was doing so well in the beginning.
Yeah.
And she wasn't 22. She was 20, going on 21. And she was strung out on the big 5, the worst one that's running around right now. Meth.
Yeah.
Coke. Heroin. And she was trying, but she knew it all. That age.
Aw. That's so sad.
Yeah. Yeah. But, we can only help those that really want it.
Yeah. Well, sometimes people aren't ready. Sometimes... Yeah, sometimes people aren't ready for it, and they need to fall on their face a few times. We just, it's like you're playing Russian roulette. You're playing Russian roulette in a way because you don't know if you're going to come back from something like that or not.
Yeah. And then her parents were enabling her, and everything was still going her way. Everything was still working. She was gorgeous.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah.
Use that to her advantage. And it was
Aw.
like, oh, girl, you've got a long, hard road ahead of you.
Yeah. Yeah. It takes time for people to learn. Or they become addicted. Yeah, that's what Kimberly said. Or they become addicted to hanging out with AA and Al-Anon groups only. Yeah, and don't grow beyond that. I've met people like that. They will not grow beyond that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. And that's kind of where I went branching out and being more than just that,
Right. Yeah.
I think that's where my personal spirituality has led me. It's like those kind of groups taught me how to stand and walk and run.
Mm-hmm.
But now my spirituality is teaching me how to fly.
Right. That's right. Yeah, it is a good feeling when you snatch one from the drain. That is true. We got about 3 minutes. We have about 3 minutes left on the show. So we do have a little bit of time. I'm just trying to keep track of it before the freaks come on.
Yeah.
But
what do? Do they just kick you off?
What happens is if I don't get off on time, then it runs into their airspace, and we have a certain amount of time, and then it'll cut his interview or his show short is what happens. So I try not to run over into their airtime. That way Ryan doesn't kill me. That way Ryan won't kill me, because he'll beat me up at the cabin on 360 Saturday. He'll beat me with a wet noodle if I go over.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah, and I don't.
Nothing better than that.
Yeah, I don't feel like getting my ass beat by Ryan or Angie for that matter. Angie fed me good Saturday. No, thank you. I like the food. Yeah, I got to stay on her good side on that one. But time always flies by on my show. I mean, people are like, gosh, what are we going to talk about for an hour? And then the next thing you know, you look up and then I'm like, we got 1 minute left, So, but I know next week Desiree will be on my show. So, before I get ready to end my show, Kimberly wants to know where you're located at. You're local, aren't you?
I'm in Gloucester.
Yeah, she's right around the corner, girl. She can come to Old House Woods with us.
Like the courthouse area in Gloucester.
Yeah, she's right around the corner. So she ain't far. So that's pretty cool.
I can meet you anywhere.
Yeah, she can meet us anywhere.
I love living right here.
Yeah, I bet you do. It's a nice area out there. I'm gonna have to go out there when I get time, but now that I'm 8 to 2, it's kind of hard for me because when I get off of work now, I'm tired.
Oh God.
Yeah, I'm trying to switch over to Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, but I'm not there yet. I have to get my paperwork down pegged before I can switch. But we got about 30 seconds left, so I can continue my Facebook Live, but I have to end my call because I don't want to cut into his airtime. But I appreciate you coming on the show.
Sure, honey. Thanks for getting my goofy ass self on this show. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and you'll have to come back on because we didn't have enough time to talk.
Okay. Yeah, maybe you can think of some stuff you want to ask, and I'll answer.
All right, that works for me.
It doesn't matter.
All right, well, I thank you so much. And you have a great night.
Girl, I'll tell your life.
All righty.
Okay.
All right, bye.
Good night, sweet girl.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye. All right, let me see if we want to continue. There we go. I did good, y'all. I didn't cut into Ryan's show. I didn't mess anything up. Yay! No, she doesn't have a salon, Kimberly. She works at one. She used to work at a different place in Gloucester. Now she's gone. Now she's gone to a private salon. But it's Cathy Steele Arthur. So you can. I'm sure. Hi, Cathy. I'm sure she'll. If you want to send her a friend request. Yeah, yeah. Y'all can add each other and become friends, and then maybe she can come to Old House Woods with us so that we can, you know, give her a paranormal experience and not one off of the dramatized television, because we don't do that, you and I. So, or even anywhere else, Dennis, none of them, none of that stuff. Y'all have seen the Facebook lives and seen what we do. So, but oh, y'all can become friends. She's really cool. I like the hair color too. So, oh yeah, y'all just add each other, because I don't know if I can do all that. But listen, I'm going to cut my Facebook live short because I want to go over to Ryan's show. Ryan Jones. Kimberly, are you able to, I don't know if you're able to jump on and share his stuff or not. So I'm going to jump into the shower real quick, and then I'm going to come back on and get on Ryan's show, because I'm going to just, and get on Ryan's show, because I want to see Savannah's show. I want to hear Savannah's interview. So anyway, I appreciate y'all tuning into Vibe Time with Geri. I appreciate you turning into my Facebook Live. I love you guys. I will see y'all later. I'm going to hop on to Ryan's show right after I get out the shower. All right, Kimberly, I'll talk to you later. Cathy, thank you. Desiree, we'll be putting some stuff together, so you'll be on next week. Be prepared. Bye.